Yo,
What up? What up?
Ooh, what's poppin'? What's going on, man?
Let's go, man. What episode is this?
Man.
We on
148.
148.
Let's go, man. Almost to the 150, man. We gotta do something for the 150.
You know, it's always the like the next 100 that you look forward to.
Yeah, it's true.
But man, like these 48, like it felt like it took really long to get to the 100. And these last 48 has been fucking flying, man.
And if you think about it, that 100 was a year ago.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's crazy, man. Yeah, and I remember that 100, like, yeah, us planning for it, like trying to do stuff. Yeah, that's wild, man.
Nah, that's dope. Oof. Welcome back, everybody, to the Carpet for Men podcast. He is Juan and I'm Sean, and every week we get together, have a few drinks, talk about things going on in the world, try to focus on things making an impact, whether they be good, bad, or otherwise. Hit him with the drink of the day.
Ooh, we got some deliciousness for you and some simpleness too, man.
Absolutely.
We got the Noble Passion. Is that what the Noble Passion?
Noble Passion.
Noble Passion, man. It's a shot of Casa Noble Tequila Blanco, and just top it off with passion fruit juice to taste. So we did the highball glass today, filled with ice. Did the shot, and then just filled it all the way up, pretty much with the passion fruit juice, and then a squeeze in of a lime wedge, and throw in the lime for a garnish. Simple but effective.
Absolutely. And it's one of those things, man, where if you like the stronger liquor taste, if you do it in a highball glass, you can kind of play with it a little bit.
You could do 2 shots or a shot and a half.
Shot and a half, yeah. Because one of them, I did a little bit. I see this one. We did a little bit over the shot.
I like this one.
And this is.
I like this one.
This one hits a little different.
I like this one. This is the night juice, I like to call it. This is the one they're gonna put me out. You're gonna be doing the pop by yourself. Right?
The moment I see you yawning, I'm gonna start throwing some fucking throw a chancleta at you.
For real, man. Oh shit. Yeah, this one's good, man. I like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he said it's so good. Basic, like straight to the point. Like,
yep. And then the fact that in this heat, I don't know, for those of y'all live in Florida, you know what we're talking about. This heat down here right now
it's
is
extra hot.
Ridiculous.
Bro, so this is like every summer here it's brutal, right? Like,
yeah, of course.
But the last couple summers I've been like waiting for that miserable heat, and it's never felt that way. And I thought, oh, I'm getting used to it. I've been here long enough. Right. Like, I've been here for a long time. And then this last week, I've been like, nah, dude, this shit's different. Like, I'm like, global warming or whatever the fuck it is that's been making climate change, whatever it is, bro, is the last couple years haven't felt like this. And it's only June, bro. Here, the brutal time is July and August. And August gets, August is miserable. Dude,
man. One of my sons told me it gets hotter in August. And I'm like, yeah, dude, like this is just the beginning.
This is the beginning.
It's not even summer yet.
No.
We're still in spring.
We got a week left
like
or more to summer. Yeah, it's crazy, man. And it's been miserably hot the last
the real feel on a daily basis is over 100.
It's stupid.
And the actual temperature usually is in like the low to mid 90s.
So we say that to say, people, get yourself a Noble Passion with this heat and just go pass out on your front lawn.
That's right. Oh, if you got a pool in the back.
You got a pool, yeah. Dude.
That's a good poolside drink too.
Oh my God, man. This is, it's good. And with this weather, like you said, this hits everywhere, man. It's delicious, boy. All
right, man. We are sharing the carbon footprint this week. We are giving it to the city of Denver.
Let's go. The Mile High.
Yo, first and foremost, the Denver Nuggets won the NBA championship. And so shout out to those guys. Dominant team that those guys put together.
The best team won it.
Oh, absolutely.
I think the best. I think even at the beginning of the playoffs, I remember I think you made this comment of like, man, I think people are sleeping on Denver because we don't see them. And it was so accurate. Like, they were so good. And I don't think people realize how good they were.
Yeah,
so it's like the best team
won. They were long and deep.
Dude, yeah. Happy Pride Month, people.
But we're not just giving a compliment to Denver for winning the championship. We giving it to them for getting fucking crazy. Motherfuckers can't have nothing nice.
Yo, they went ham, bro.
So they had the parade. No, actually, there was after the win, right? Was when they had like 10 people got shot.
Yeah, dude. John Morant pulled up to that bitch. So what's going on?
Yeah, man. So there was an altercation out there, and no one died, but 10 people got shot. and the police believe, just based on what they found, that the altercation stemmed from a fentanyl drug deal, sort of like gone wrong.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, well, they don't know. That's the speculation.
Yo, because when I read the headline and it said like 10 people injured, like in mass shooting, like no deaths or whatever, and you're normally like, great. But then I was like, yo, how shitty of a shot are you?
Supposedly, the person was like shooting into a crowd.
That's so fucking
right.
crazy.
So, but they were able, like they recovered multiple bags of fentanyl.
Oh, wow.
At the scene. So they
I didn't realize it was that.
They believe it's that. I don't think it's been proven yet. It's obviously under investigation. 9 men, 1 woman suffered the gunshot wounds. But like I said, none of them were life-threatening injuries. So they're good. But then fast forward, so they had the parade.
Yeah, which looked awesome.
Dude, so after the parade, 2 more people got shot. And a cop got ran over, or I should say ran over. He was struck by one of the fire trucks that were in the parade.
What?
Yeah, dude. So like,
yo, y'all some wild boys.
It's crazy, bro. And then did you see Mike Malone? Like, so the coach of the Denver Nuggets was out there looking thuggish as hell.
My man was jiggy as fuck. I didn't realize Mike Malone had it in him, bro. He was wearing a chain. He had the hat. He had the cigar popping, and you could tell he was real comfortable in that. He wasn't doing it for the parade.
Yeah,
it was like, this is what I do on weekends, bro.
Yep. And he was out there going like this, like he looked like he was throwing up gang signs and shit. And I'm like, who is this guy? Is this the same guy that has a suit on and is very like composed?
He might be my new favorite coach.
Who is this guy? He had the cap on with the flat bill. Mm-hmm. Like he was looking real Vanilla Ice-ish.
Yo, I was like, I didn't realize he had that kind of swagger, bro. Because I'm like you said, you see him, he looks like this straight laced, sort of like no nonsense thing. And then even in the press conference, like that little thug came out of him a little bit. I was like, okay.
Oh,
like
I missed it. What he said?
The little streets, like when he was trolling LeBron, and then even the words he would use of like just sort of mocking like other teams or like the players. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, Mike, you got a little something in you. I'm like, you look like a good hang.
It's funny, man, when you look at these guys, and you know, sort of to be a leader of men, and especially of like athletes, right? Of you're a leader of like a lot of type A personalities. You have to have really good leadership qualities, right? Especially that you know, especially if you're going to demand a lot from your team and expect professionalism and everything, you have to be professionalism at the highest level, right? And then so to see him cut loose at the parade was kind of crazy.
Yeah,
just I wasn't unexpected.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that at all. Even Jokic, because he was so damn serious.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't see. Did he cut loose?
He was wilding today. He said other thing. He said for those who don't know, like after he won the title, he was so stoic, and when they asked him about the thing, he's like, I just want to go home.
I was gonna say when they talked about the parade,
he goes like, no.
He's like, when is the parade? And he's like, I gotta go home.
And it was like Monday, and the parade's like Thursday. It's not like you're talking like months out, and he's just like, I want to go home. No, I want to go home. And then till today, he goes like, I want a fucking parade. I never want to leave here. And he's just like going off. I'm like, good for you, man.
That's good.
He finally sort of let loose. Yo, that's a guy that strikes me that won't play long.
Really?
That man looks so content with life. And like basketball is so ancillary to him. Like it's a job. And it's like, yeah, he likes it. It's given him a phenomenal opportunity and created a great opportunity for his family. But it doesn't seem like it's even in his top 5 of favorite things to do or like most important things in his life. Like you just hear him talk and you just think, and I'm going, man, we better enjoy this because it's ridiculous what he's doing, like while it lasts. Because he strikes me as one of those guys that's gonna walk away early and just go, I got money, I got things. I want to go watch my horses or whatever the fuck he's into. Like he likes horse racing and all that shit. I'm like,
where's he from? Serbia?
Yeah.
What do they do over there in Serbia?
I don't know, bro. It even shocks me that he goes back there, but I don't know a lot about Serbia, so maybe if I did, I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah. But like, I think the place he's from is called Sombor, Serbia, something like that. But I guess he goes back there during the offseason.
Suits his personality.
It really does. He's somber as fuck. He's just like, yeah. I call him now the dad bod god. Dude, he doesn't even look imposing at all.
Bro, as I watch the finals and the way that he shoots the ball, it looks like nothing. Like none of his shots should go in.
Not a single one.
And the vast majority of them go in.
All of them do. It's so stupid. And it doesn't look like it's on purpose. But it's all very well thought out. But none of it looks like it's intentional.
But I love the way where, when they interview him and he's very much like, yeah, like if I'm open, I'll take the shot. But if I'm not, then I'll pass. Yeah. Like it's fine.
It's fun. Yeah. And even when they talk to him about the pressure, he's just like, oh, this is basketball. Like, it's just like, there's people out there doing this and that. And obviously, I think growing up in Serbia, that'll give you a different perspective. But like, he's just like, there's no pressure. Pressure is basketball. Like,
dude, is Serbia the country of, what's that movie with, it's not Black Hawk Down. It's the other one. The two pilots that go into enemy territory. They get shot down.
Oh, behind enemy lines.
Yes. Oh, is that in Is that Serbia?
Man, now
I just feel like it is, but I'm probably wrong.
I doesn't sound familiar. I'm gonna look it up, man, because
I would have never got that name. I'm surprised that you fucking, because I was even trying to think of Owen Wilson's name and I couldn't even think of his name.
War films beginning with Behind Enemy Lines in 2001, followed by films in 6. And damn, I didn't know there was sequels to this bitch.
Oh, there are?
Evidently so.
Owen Wilson wasn't in it. That's why. That's why I didn't.
Bosnia.
Oh, Bosnia.
Shot
okay,
down
that makes sense.
over Bosnia and was stranded. Oh no, no, you weren't wrong. It was shot down over Bosnia and was stranded in Serb-held territory for 6 days before being rescued by U.S. Marines.
Ah, there you go.
So it was Serbian held. No, so you weren't wrong. Yeah. Because is Bosnia still a country? Is Bosnia Herzegovina, whatever the one that's, I can't even pronounce that shit. No idea. It's like one of those like goes back and forth.
No idea.
Yeah. I went to public school.
Dude, so, and shout out to the Heat for putting up I guess a valiant effort, man. They just ran into a much better team.
Yeah.
Did you see that game? I think it was game 4 of the finals when they had Conor McGregor come out.
Yeah, with the mascot.
Yes. So he knocks the mascot out, which looks like, the mascot's obviously wearing this big, what do you call it? Like a costume head.
Yeah,
he's in a whole costume. What is their mascot?
The Miami Heat? I don't know what that thing is. Is it a raccoon? I don't know what it is.
No, isn't it like a bird?
Let me see. Oh, you might be right. Let me see.
I think it's some kind of bird.
I'm gonna have to look it up because he beat the shit out of
this mascot. But he hits the guy. He hits the mascot. The mascot goes down. They drag the mascot off of the court, and it looks like they're kind of like this whole funny thing. But apparently, he hit the guy pretty damn hard. The guy ends up going to the hospital.
It's a
Is it a bird?
Anthropomorphic depiction of the fireball featured on the team's logo. Bernie, his name is Bernie. It's a bird, but
it's a bird though, right?
It's a bird. It just doesn't. It's not based on. Define anthropomorphic. Whatever the fuck that.
Yeah,
damn, that's a big word. Of the fireball. So I don't know. We're gonna go with a phoenix. Fireball bird sounds about right.
But he knocks this thing out, and then more news comes out afterwards that he allegedly sexually assaulted some woman.
Yeah, which I don't know. We'll let the legal system do its thing. Right. But what I will say, man, is that I don't know if Conor did this. I know Conor's in a position like many sort of famous people and anyone with any kind of clout that people clout chase and people accuse them. And I'm not saying that's what this is here.
Yep.
I guess what I'm saying is Conor finds himself in these situations a lot, and I'm sure some of it is that. But at some point, man, we gotta go. Conor's not a good person, bro. Like at some point, we gotta go. Conor puts himself in some shitty positions that this shit happens to him all the fucking time.
Yeah, like you said,
always accused.
Who is it? It's Cat Williams that goes right. Like if you've been, what was it like?
Whitney been smoking her kneecaps. Yeah.
What do they say? Like if they accuse you of smoking crack for 20 years, at some point you were smoking crack.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like Connor's in his, and I know there's video of like Connor punching like old dudes in bars and blah blah. Like he's definitely
a hothead.
He's absolutely a hothead, and I feel like he is absolutely putting himself in these positions now. And I feel like we don't talk about that enough in the context of sports and how much shit we give some athletes and whatever. It's like Connor almost gets a pass because he's so damn like likable and famous and popular that like we give him a pass. But at some point we gotta look at him and go, yo man, like. You're always in these scenarios where people are accusing you, and it always ends up getting dropped, or always ends up something. But I'm like, at some point, you have to question what are you doing to put yourself in these positions all the time, or are you just paying these people off, and you really are just shitty of a human being? Like, at some point.
Now, one of the things that I read, and again, this is all just from different news sources. The woman is actually seeking settlements with the NBA, the Heat. And Conor McGregor.
So she doesn't even want legal charges pressed.
That's what it sounds like. Again, I don't know. I mean, I haven't read any court documentation or anything like that. But when I read that, I was just like, huh. Like it kind of begs the question of the like how true is this?
Yeah, I think
because you could pay somebody. Like sometimes it's easier and it's cheaper to pay somebody to go away rather than to go through the legal proceedings of court.
And that's why I go like, this could be one of those things where somebody's, but this could also be a mixture of both. This could be Connor pushed it and, she was like, oh, fuck, I might as well get something out of it. Or it could be that he literally made her feel some type of way. It could, like so many things. I think what I do, like hopefully she's okay and, it's all just speculation and whatever. But I think what is an absolute fact is that Connor always finds himself in these fucking scenarios, and you're like, bro, what are you doing that you are always in these scenarios? Like,
dude, but what do you think? Like, so let's just say it's true, right? And the punishment for this is I'm gonna make this up. Punishment for like this sexually assaulting somebody is 10 years in prison. Mm-hmm. Okay, you go on court, you're proven innocent, right? It's proven that it's a lie. Should the person accusing you get 10 years?
Absolutely. I think they should get something.
They do get something. I'm just saying, but because it's just like if you accuse somebody of murder, right? And then you don't, and then it comes out to be false. Like it comes out that you actually made up the story. And that person could potentially be put in jail for life.
You should absolutely do jail time.
But should you not get life?
It's a good question. Like that girl
for lying.
Like that girl recently the NFL guy, the ex-NFL player who just got off of murder charges.
Oh no, what was this?
So murder was convicted. This girl, man, I gotta pull up his name, but it's sort of just like spark notes of it. They're in a relationship. She gets pissy at him, whatever. Tells her brothers that he assaulted her or that he abused her or whatever, right?
Okay.
And then texts her brothers, "Yo, go shoot his shit up," blah blah blah, like going. So her brothers pull up to his house with his friends. He defends himself with his own rifle and at his house. Ends up, I think, killing her brother or one of the friends. Somebody dies in the whole ordeal. So 5 dudes pull up. He kills someone. He gets charged for murder. He recently got found not guilty.
Okay.
They pulled up all of her, records. It shows the text where she's telling her brothers go shoot his shit up. She's like, oh, you just say shit when you're mad.
I heard the court proceedings. I didn't know the whole story, but I heard where like the video or audio recording of her being asked, what did you mean by shoot his shit up?
Yeah.
And then she was just like, no, like I didn't. It's kind of a slang term. And I'm paraphrasing here, but it's kind of a slang term. I didn't mean to go and kill him.
Right. And this was Wednesday, by the way. His name is Travis Rudolph. So he just got found not guilty. Travis Rudolph, former wide receiver for Florida State, so for FSU, and he played in the NFL. So, yeah, she goes like, oh, I just wanted them, you just say shit when you're mad. I just wanted them to go like sort of scare him or whatever. But turns out she was lying about the initial accusations that she made that told her brother. So he wasn't abusive, any of that stuff. And then I think I also want to say that she was pissy because supposedly he had another girl or something crazy, but this bitch is married. So it's the whole thing is just kind of wild. But it goes back to your thing of she should do time. Like this dude was facing life in prison.
Right.
And somebody died.
Yeah.
Because she lied. So shouldn't she do life in prison then in that case?
That's what I'm saying,
yeah,
man.
like I don't disagree.
Yeah, like if you make an accusation like that, bro, and then it's based around like a flat out lie, you know, I think the court should just flip that and go, okay, well, this was the punishment for this thing. You just lied about it, so now you get it.
Yeah, you have to deter people from making this shit
From making dumb shit up.
You really do, man. I don't know what the answer is.
Could you imagine, bro, being fucking in prison for life, and then they go, "What are you in here for?" Oh, well, I tried to pin a murder on somebody else that didn't happen, or that I just made up.
Lied about. I got mad. I was salty. I was a salty side chick, and oh yeah, bro, like just that shit is crazy to me, man. Like that whole.
That's fucking nuts.
But yeah, man. Listen, man. If Conor McGregor did some shit, then hopefully justice is served, and you know. He doesn't do this shit to people, but if she's lying, then she should absolutely pay for something like that. And like you said, everything about it right now seems like there's a grab here for cash because of the whole the complaint isn't criminal. You know, it's more of like a civil suit type thing. So those always and you know and listen, that's not to say that if you're someone like her, or I shouldn't say someone like her, if you're someone who that happens to. Do you sit there and go through the thing of, do I want justice in terms of this person going to jail, or would I rather just get paid because I'm going to have to deal with this ordeal internally and emotionally anyway? I might as well have something to show for it, like in terms of maybe this is life-changing money, right? Like, you know, I would never blame someone, I guess, for choosing either or. Like, I would never blame you for seeking the civil route. Or changing because I don't know what's going to bring you sort of peace in that moment or in that thing, right? No. So I guess I couldn't blame you in either scenario where you go, fuck it, I'm going to be sad or pissy about this anyway. I'm going to need therapy. I might as well not have to work again. You know, like, I don't know.
Yeah. But did you hear her thing? So she was like, he like forcibly kissed her.
The story was so long, I'm going to be honest, okay. I checked out. I started reading the whole forcibly kissing that and it got so long-winded that I was like, I'm out. It just seemed a little odd.
From what I read, it was like he forcibly kissed her, and then in order to sort of get out of the situation, she was like, "I gotta pee." So she goes to pee, and then he's like, and then he forces her to give him oral. I just don't like. How do you force somebody to give you oral? Like if you're a guy, how do you force somebody to give you oral? Like, yo, bite that shit off.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't understand. How do you? That's the part where I go and listen.
And listen, maybe like when you're in that situation, maybe it feels a little bit different. But
correct, yeah. and I don't know how that feels. I just go. Maybe it's one of the situations where you go. If I was in a situation, I would do X, and then when you're really in it, you don't.
Right.
Because I've been in those.
Yeah,
I think we all have, right?
Yeah, we all
been
in those,
absolutely. Where we would give the advice to go do something, and then it happens to us, and we don't do, or we don't take our own advice.
No, all the time. Yo, this is a fancy ass cap on this tequila, bro. Damn.
Yo, you seen Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence coming up?
Yo, finally we're getting a match with two guys in their prime. Mm-hmm. You know, probably two of the best of this era, honestly, of the post Mayweather era, I guess is what I would call this. I got to be honest with you, bro. This shit's boring as fuck. Like, as a boxing purist. Like or as a boxing fan, like I like loving the technical sport. I'm a big boxer. I want to see the matchup.
Absolutely.
If I'm a casual boxing fan, I have zero interest.
Oh, because they're not talking.
No, they are. It's so childish. Like it's so forced. Did you see the press conferences today?
I have not.
Oh my god, just go watch.
I'm not even interested, to be honest.
That's exactly my point.
Because like I know the skill set of these guys, and this is like
correct.
This is like the fight of the decade.
Yes, it should be. It's not gonna be.
No,
I don't think it's gonna sell. In terms
you think
of
it won't
like,
sell? Got it.
No, I think that Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis was a bigger fight than this to the casual fan. I think this fight should be a mega fight. This should be Pacquiao Mayweather of this generation.
Yeah, and
potentially.
And with this is to me it's even better because these guys are in their prime.
Correct. and it's not even getting that kind of hype.
That sucks.
And I'm gonna tell you,
no one knows who they are.
Well, they're both boring. Yeah, and no one knows who they are. And it just
unless you're a boxing fan,
dude. Exactly. Unless you're a boxing fan who follows boxing, you go, okay, you know who they are. You respect their skill set. You do all that. But when I'm watching the press conferences of them and they're trying to talk shit, it's so
is it forced?
Comically bad. Like I was watching and I was laughing. I'm like, this is so bad. Like it either feels like, okay, you've never done this, so you're like trying to come up with shit to talk and hype yourself up, and maybe they get better as they go along. I thought it was comical. Like it was almost like it was like I couldn't believe it. Like I don't believe that you don't dislike first of all, they don't dislike each other, which I think is probably part of the problem.
Right.
But then also they're trying to come up with shit. Like one of the lines Terrence Crawford was like, they're like, oh, you've knocked out 10 people in a row, and he's like, yeah, and if he steps out of line, he's gonna be 11. And I'm like, okay, bro, that's corny. Yeah. Shut the fuck up, bro. Like it was like it wasn't even fun. Like I'm going, don't even show me anymore. Just get me to the fight, because at this point, like you're turning me off.
Yeah, I'll be honest, man. Like I've never known either of those guys to kind of be good at talking trash.
Well, they don't. Remember, Terrence Crawford got into it with his promoter, because his promoter was it Bob Arum, who was like, I can't sell the fights by myself, and he was like livid, and he's like, I don't do the shit talking, I do the fighting, and I'm like, okay, bro, and that's why you're gonna keep fighting fucking tomato cans, and you're not gonna get the Floyd money or the. I'm like, there's an art, like going back to Conor. Conor was so damn popular because he was so good skill wise, and so like, and he was dynamic, and he gave
he was a WWE wrestler.
Yeah,
he could talk trash like a top,
like the Rock.
Yes, the Rock, Stone Cold,
yep,
right?
Ric Flair,
yep. Like he can talk the trash, and then he could back it up. Like he was actually a good fighter, and you need that to sell these kind of fights.
You need a heel and you need a good guy, and I feel like this was a chance for Errol Spence to play good guy and Crawford to be bad guy, and they're so not good at that. Like Errol Spence is a really soft-spoken guy, like phenomenal boxer,
bro.
Phenomenal boxer. He's boring.
These are the top two guys in boxing.
This
in my
is
opinion.
the fight. If you have to pick on paper that you go in boxing, no matter the weight class, what do you want to see right now? It's this, right? Yeah. After Tyson Fury and Wilder, this was the fight. Or and then maybe Joshua Wilder. If you go, this is the fight that everyone wanted to see, and it's finally happening. And I go, I couldn't be less interested when I watched it. Like I'm not hyped about it. Like I'm gonna watch it because I'm a boxing fan, but they're so boring. Like,
and you're gonna,
it's so
and,
bad.
you know, the funny thing is that you're gonna talk to the casual boxing fan, or maybe not even, or maybe just a casual fight fan, and they're gonna go, who?
Yeah. And the thing is that this is your chance. If you make the press conferences good, you grab those people. And those people who don't know. Bro, most people didn't know who Gervonta Davis was, right? And then most people didn't know who Ryan Garcia was outside of the Instagram and the TikTok videos and all that shit. Like, but they did so good at selling that fight and fighting in the press conferences and really showing that, like, discontent with each other and that hatred and whatever. Like, these two guys are so boring that you go, oh, okay, first off, Bob Arum was right about you, Terrence Crawford. And then the other part, you go, oh, this is why you guys have never crossed this threshold. This is why you're not known. This is why Errol Spence isn't mainstream. This is why Terrence Crawford isn't mainstream, because it isn't good enough to just be good at boxing. Not today. Like, you have to do Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was a great boxer, right? You got the dynamic, like 30-second KOs and all this shit and blah, blah, blah. And that was part of his appeal. But then when you put the mic in front of him, he would say the craziest shit ever.
I'm going to eat your children.
I'm going to eat your children. Yeah. And you're like, I can't turn away. Like, it was just, to me, it just sort of solidifies like you can't just be good, especially in the fight game. Like, we don't reward skill. We reward entertainment.
Right. And you almost like, you want animals.
Absolutely.
You know, you want humans at their most primal, being, if that's the right word.
Dude, watching two gladiators get into a ring and beat the pope out of each other. Like, we want primal.
We want
carnage,
we want the gladiators, bro.
Yeah.
And even if it's not gonna be that, we want to believe it before the fight comes up.
Yeah. Right. Like, I know that it's gonna be bullshit. Like Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis want to be like BFFs after the fight and all that.
Yeah.
But you sold me on the way there.
Yep.
And that's all I give a fuck about.
I'm fine if you guys hug it out afterwards.
Yeah. I don't give a fuck. Like, but
make
leading
me
up to
believe that you hate each other.
Exactly. Yeah. Make me think you hate each other and make me buy into this is going to be phenomenal. You guys are going to try to take each other's heads off. Like, I was so disappointed in watching these press conferences the last couple of days because they did the whole 2-city stop thing, whatever, in the kickoff. And I go, don't, just go back to training. I'll see you in July, bro. Like, don't, like, it was just so bad. And it just sort of, like, I just kept thinking, oh, okay, this is why, as a boxing fan, I'm always like, oh, you guys got to watch these people, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, this is why you guys haven't crossed over into mainstream. This is the...
What's funny is that, point. The Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis fight, and here's the difference. My kids knew about it. This one, they have not mentioned anything.
Dude, if Ryan Garcia, after that loss, fights this weekend against Rolly, sorry, people are watching because Ryan Garcia has now made sort of a name for himself and he's going to be entertaining.
I think that's the fight for him, bro.
It has to be. There's nothing else because Teofimo walked away.
Yeah, that's right.
Which Teofimo would have been a good fight with. I think Teofimo probably mops the floor.
I think he beat,
Yeah, but it would have been, at least, again, that fight would have sold. And it would have been entertaining and the press conference would have been awesome because Teofimo Lopez knows how to sell a fight too. Yep. Like, and Ryan Garcia, I didn't think he had it in him. But Ryan Garcia is already like good-looking dude, likable, charismatic. You go, even if you don't think he's a bad guy, the baby face, good guy thing works, right? Yeah. Like, and you go, okay, like I people will gravitate to that. Like Crawford and Spence have like not made me feel anything, man. Like I'm like,
yeah, I have not seen any press conferences, and then based on what you just said,
you'll be so disappointed. I
will not watch. However, I am watching that fight because that fight is going to be phenomenal.
Absolutely, because again, I love boxing, probably my favorite sport. It's like the combat sports and boxing is probably like again, just go back to it. I have earlier memories of boxing than I do of any other sport.
Yep.
In terms of watching it across my life, and so I love boxing, and I love MMA. So I'm definitely going to watch as a fan of the sport. But as a casual, where you go, oh, you can get people together and you get people excited. I go, man, I couldn't even sell this to you. Like other than telling you, like, no, these are the best boxers. You don't understand of the last decade. Like, it's like I can't. When they sit there and talk, it's almost embarrassing. Like when I was watching the press conference, I was like, I'm gonna get embarrassed for them. Like it was so. That's how bad it was. Like their promo was trash. The shit talking was trash. It was like watching two kindergartners on the playground. Like just like, well, you're a poopy head. Like it was so bad. Oh, so bad.
All right, man. So note to self: don't watch those press conferences, bro.
Just if you feel like it, if you even get an itch, bro, tell me. I'll make one for you, and I'll act it out of what it should have looked like, and I'll send it to you.
Dude, man, this weekend we got Father's Day coming up, bro.
Yep.
And dude, I was thinking about like moments of like fatherly moments, and what was funny was that I could think of different things like throughout my life that was sort of like impacting.
Mm-hmm.
And but nothing like astronomical.
Yeah,
I think the fatherly stuff was like a culmination of a lot of things.
Okay, that's what you mean.
But then I started thinking about like what are the things that our kids are gonna believe are impactful, and I was thinking about a few things that kind of went on with me and my sons, and I have 3 sons, so there's different things that I've done with each one of them. And like one of them plays a lot of sports, and so like, is he just gonna remember me being at the games or me giving him advice about sports and working out and that kind of stuff? Like they're all into different things, and I was trying to figure out like what are the things that are gonna be impactful to them, and then I came up with like, I go, you know what? It's probably gonna be something that I would have never thought.
Yeah, dude.
Was impactful.
They're gonna, the last thing you thought.
Yeah, it's gonna be like that thing.
Yeah. Like, remember that time we went to Publix? It's gonna be something really, really.
It'll be like yo, you said this thing. Like matter of fact, remember a few years ago, my son bought me this pen. Actually, he bought me a book. It was for the podcast. He bought me like a book and then a pen. Actually, I think my wife bought the book because actually he said it had like a description on it. But he bought me this pen anyways. Really nice pen. It writes really well. But on the pen, it said, "Don't be a dick."
And it's so funny because that's like a saying that you say to them all the time.
All the time, bro. All the time. So I wonder, right?
How much fun we made of that shit. I think on this pod.
Yeah. I think so. Because I think I talked about getting it. But it's like, I wonder if that's the thing. Is that the thing that he's gonna be like, yo, the thing that sticks with me all the time, like when I'm gonna be an asshole, I always think you saying, don't be a dick. You know what I mean? Like, and I'll be like, fuck, man.
And
like,
it won't be that. It's
thing?
gonna be something else, man.
No, and I don't even know. I just thought I'm trying to think about
maybe
like
it will be that because it got you up.
Right, because it was impactful enough for him.
Yeah, to give you a merch line.
We making t-shirts.
You got merch. Let's go.
Is there anything with your kids, man, that you go like, this is like this is an episode that I would love to have like the kids for like a segment and just go, yo, what are the things that you've learned, or what are what are the things that were most impactful?
No,
because
but
I don't know.
It's gonna make me ask them. I feel like I'm gonna ask them, like, hey, when you think of like today, what do you think about if somebody said,
just
like,
today,
yeah.
And then those things will change or evolve as they get older, right? Because you get older, you'll get wiser.
Right.
They'll get older, there'll be more experiences and learning more, right? So, and then we'll hopefully be there, throughout their lives to kind of like guide them or at least give them advice and just kind of help them through whatever path they choose.
I feel like, man, it's such a good conversation to have. For me right now personally, because I feel like I've struggled lately with what makes you a good dad, parent, whatever, right? And so I think of, is it time, right? Like the volume of time you spend with them. Is it moments? Is it the creation of memories? Is it like the advice? Is it leading by example? Like you go, you could tell your kid, you could be anything you want and you can follow your dreams, you can do that, but they're looking at you every day and they're like going, are you doing what you want? Are you following your dreams? And so it's just like, and so I've had this conflict of like, it's almost like overthinking of what should I be doing so that I do create something for them that they remember me by, or that they feel like they had a good childhood or a good dad or whatever. And man, it's funny you said that, man, because I feel like I've had more times lately, I feel like I'm hyper aware and maybe present in terms of like being a dad, of like looking at moments or these like times that I spend with them and go, okay, like this was cool. And I don't want to say that I force it, but I almost go, I'm always thinking about it, where like they might ask for something and I go, okay, was that the thing?
It's the effort. Where are you putting in effort?
It's right. It's like that. And you're doing this effort. And I go, man, you truly don't know as a parent like what's gonna be the thing, because like I said, like I've thought of all these things and all of these things can't be true, right? Like I can't be the hardworking guy who gives you this amazing life, who does all that stuff, who spends a lot of time with you, who does stuff, who then gives you like all these quotes. Like you can't be all of those, right? Right. There's gonna be one, you're gonna fail at something, right? But it's gonna be, what's the thing that stuck with them? What's the thing that created? And I think where I find myself is like, because I'm so overly consumed with those things, I'm not just being. Yeah. And because I'm worried about that.
Which is where you should be, right?
Exactly.
Well, get this, man. So this week, my wife and I had a discussion, and she was telling me a story about she took one of my sons to the dentist, and she goes, hey, so he opens the door, and she goes, I'm thinking that he's holding it for me, and then he walks in and lets the door go. And then she comes to me and she's like, yo, like, I kind of feel like that's sort of your role to kind of teach the chivalry, right?
Yeah.
Where it's not just for your mom, it's for your lady, it's for your grandmother, it's for, it's
for anybody,
the women in your life, right?
Yeah.
And we were kind of going back and forth, and I was like, well, like I always open the door. Like I was like, when me and you are together, you never open the door. Like I always open it for you. Now, and then we kind of went into like you don't open my car door, and I'm just like, yeah, that's true. I don't open your car door anymore, because like back in the day, I used to have to go around and open it because I didn't have power locks, right? Like now it's different, right? Now it's a little bit different. And so we kind of got into the conversation, and I started thinking, just from like self-reflecting, of just going like, I've never had the conversation, but they've seen me open doors not only for my wife but also for other people, and you hold it open, and I've allowed multiple people to go through at the same time, right? We're in a mall or whatever, right? You open the door, there's multiple people coming in, and I'll hold it for the whole gang of people.
I was gonna say,
right?
I probably do that too much. Like I probably take that to the extreme. Like you said, I probably hold it for the whole line.
Yeah, you hold it for the whole line, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I was like, well, shit, man. Like, no, I never had a discussion, but I hope that they saw what
observing.
I was doing, and then maybe they emulate that. And if they don't, then maybe that's just up to them. But I was like, it's one of those things where you kind of like self-reflect and go, well, shit, like, do I need to have that conversation?
Like, should you point it out?
Yeah, should I point it out? So, like, very recently, one of my sons went on, I don't know, kind of a semi-date, right? And before he left, it was like, hey, man, like, before you go out, like, like, make sure you open the doors. Make sure you, like, treating the woman like I guess we believe she should be treated, right?
Yeah.
Like,
be
be chivalrous.
Yeah.
Essentially. Yeah. But it's weird, man, because it's like we're in this space where times are different than when I grew up, and which is, of course, like, and again, I talked to my mom, and she's like, oh man, like, I remember, as you were growing up, and I was like, oh, this shit's different, way different than when I grew up. And so we keep going through this, and we're in this space now where, like I said, with the car doors, I go, no, I don't open your car door because it's always unlocked.
Right.
Matter of fact, when one of the things was when I was a kid was, you open the door for your lady, but like if she don't reach over and unlock your door, then she's not
Time to let her go.
Yo, for real, bro. And there's what's funny, bro?
Yo, what was the barometer when you got power locks? Like, well, can't measure her by that no more.
No, but it's true, bro. And what's funny, man, is like I remember somebody telling me that, and then it was funny because when I was dating my wife, that was one of the things that it was like I would always like open her door first, and then she'd always reach over and unlock my door.
Okay.
And then it was funny because there's a movie, Bronx Tale.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Do you remember that movie?
I do.
In Bronx Tale,
Shit.
it's that, and the guy, it's like an Italian neighborhood, and the kid dates a black girl, so it's like a big deal. But the Italian like mobster tells him like, yo, and he tells him like that test, like, yo, if she doesn't unlock your door, throw her out. And she does in the movie. And I remember watching that with my wife at some point, and maybe she was my girlfriend at the time, and me thinking like, yo, look.
She did that.
Like, and she does that, right? So it's just those little things, right? But I don't know if anybody ever taught my wife to do that.
You're like, it's observant. Because isn't that in itself like part of the test is not the right word, but like your kids, I think you hope that they're observing and sort of absorbing what you're doing. Like,
but good and bad, right? So like,
yeah,
they're probably observing and observing and absorbing the bad shit that I do too.
Absolutely, dude. But I think about my upbringing, right? Like my mom was awesome. Like my mom had us like really young, but like I don't ever remember as a kid feeling like that. I don't ever remember as a kid seeing my mom do anything illegal or desperate or any of that stuff, right? And she didn't have to tell me that. Like my mom didn't tell me, hey, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. But I think it's subconsciously stuck where like I always saw my mom doing things the honest way. I always saw, and so growing up, I remember feeling like it never crossed my mind to do things dishonestly or not work hard or not.
Right.
And I think if I think back on like my upbringing, I would go, there absolutely has to be a correlation there between like observing my mom as a child, right? Like, and then going and learning from that example without my mom having to tell me, hey, you don't do XYZ. Like some of that has to stick there. Now, granted, everybody's different and some kids just are so aloof and aren't really taking that in, or maybe it makes sense to them later on. But I think there's so much stuff, man, that I look back on that if I thought about it now, that I go, oh, that must be why I'm this way. and I subconsciously sort of picked that up without knowing
bro.
it, you know? Like there has to be, like you said, the door thing, that has to be something that you picked up subconsciously, or that she picked up subconsciously. That wasn't a, hey, you always do this. It was just one of those like common courtesy things to her. But, you know, again, it's like the whole common sense isn't so common. Like just anything else isn't that. Like even for our kids, man, like it's so true because I go like, do I lead by example? But then I go like, again, because you get overly consumed, I go, but am I doing them or me a disservice by not calling it out and not talking about it, and not saying it, not like, because I don't know if you have this, man. And I know like a lot of us struggle with this, maybe even like in our professional lives, where we have like this imposter syndrome, where I feel like as a dad, you always have this thing where you go, am I doing enough? Like, am I not doing something? Should there be something that I'm adding? Is there like, you're aware of your kids and their different needs, and you try to meet those, but then you're like, and you feel like you do, but then sometimes you go like, I don't, but if people call out, you question yourself. But then if somebody calls, like sits there and goes, hey, but you did this and this and this, and you're like, yeah, I did, but you sort of never feel like that. It's almost like this imposter syndrome of like, I never feel like I'm living up to this expectation, but I don't know who set this expectation. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I feel like that a lot. I feel like that a lot. But then I also go, especially like in a work environment, like I know, like I'm confident that I'm good in what I do. Mm-hmm. So I kind of let that trump those feelings. But I do have those feelings a lot as like a father and a husband.
Okay.
To where like I think I'm doing good, and then like I get called out on something. Or I think I'm doing good, and then something happens with the kids, and I'm just like, well, fuck. Like, how did that happen? Like, I didn't show them to do that. Like, is that my fault? You know, am I not doing enough? Am I not telling them the right thing? So that happens a lot in the family and home.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro.
Man, it's just like I think it's funny because I think it will definitely force me to ask the question of like, hey, what do you guys think about me when you think about like your age now? What is going to be the thing that stands out?
I was gonna say it'd be good to do it now, and then like 5-10 years from now, right? Because I think that'll maybe not change. I think it'll grow.
Yeah. No,
because they may morphs. Be able, right? Because they may remember what they told you initially, and then there's been other things along the way.
Yeah, because like if I think about like my daughter very much has like my personality, my sense of humor, my stuff like that. So I know with her, like it'll be, girl. Yeah, not a good thing. But she'll come up with jokes, or she'll have these little one-liners where I'm like, what the fuck did you get that? And then I go, shit, that's something I would have said. You know, like I think about it all the time. And then you're like, okay, that's kind of cool because you're paying attention and you made this like dark, twisted joke that I would have made. So that means you are listening to me to an extent, right? Or at least like something went there, but then you're just like, I don't know if that's good for you. Like, like
how much of that is her listening to you versus this is just who she is?
Right. And
you know what I mean?
And with her, you go, it has to be just who she is and stuff, because you go, I think about my daughter, even as a kid or as a baby. So she is a kid, but her personality hasn't shifted much. It's like she's always been who she is. Like, right, the humor changes in terms of like the things she'll make fun of, the stuff, but her demeanor and the way she carries herself, her disposition has always been the same. And it's very much like me. And my son is not, but my son has a lot of the same interests that I had now. Like he didn't earlier in life.
Okay.
Or I shouldn't say that. He did, but just maybe express them a little bit differently. And then now but he doesn't have my like sense of humor. He doesn't have my personality. He has the same interests, which is very different. And I think like as a dad, I'm starting to like decipher the two, going, okay, you like the same things I liked, but you go about things differently, and so it forces me to go like this different way of like trying to move that.
Keep trying to support them.
Yeah, and it's fun and it's interesting and it makes you like sort of think about yourself, but it is like uncomfortable in the sense of like I'm comfortable with my daughter because I know how she thinks, I know how she feels, I know because I think that way, right? Yeah. But then when he does it, you go, yeah, like, oh, I just have to be me,
right?
And then with him, it's like, okay, like I have to.
It's like how do you nurture the person that you're not?
Exactly. And then it's like it forces you to listen, because then you have to ask more questions and you have to go, okay, like what do you want? And again, it probably turns you into a better human being, not just a dad, like when you sort of forced to go that route. But it is like fascinating just to see that whole like dynamic, because I do find myself, and I think, and I don't struggle with this. So this generation has this thing, there's a word for it, but like it's like where parents see other parents on social media, and you have this like thing where you feel like you always have to keep up, like they're fucking cooking, you know, cookies, or they're making eggs, and they're posting these TikTok videos and that stuff. Like I don't get sucked into that. Like I'm okay with that. Like I'm pretty comfortable not getting sucked into that. I do find myself getting uncomfortable in I question myself. And I think a lot of it has to do with, so not having sort of my biological father growing up, it's almost like, am I filling in this gap right? Like I am the father from my kids. Is what I'm doing enough? Like,
right, because you have no model.
I don't know what the right answer is. I know, so to me, the right answer is whatever I didn't have. Right. So when I think about like my kids, I always think about what didn't I have? What would I have wanted at this age? What would I have wanted? And it does them a disservice in one sense, because you go, maybe they're not looking for that. They're just wanting you to do this other thing. Right. But I get so caught up in like, well, at your age, I would have wanted this.
Right.
And so like, I think that's the thing that I battle with all the time, because I go, I don't have the model. I don't have the examples. Like, it's funny when you were asking me before, it's like, yo, do you have this like father moment? And we talked about this on here a lot before. Like a lot of my father, quote unquote, moments would have come from moments of my uncles, and they were amazing. And all the fatherly things I think that I could think of that come from them, and even from like my mom. But like, as far as like how to be one, the example I have is everything I didn't. And so,
and you know what? I would advise you to don't forget about the things that we had when we didn't really have much that were enough. Because I think that in our situations, like we're able to give our kids more than what we had growing up. Mm-hmm. But what we had growing up was enough.
Yeah.
And they're not getting that now, because we're giving them other things that we believe is sort of like quote unquote more, and it's not really the case in most cases.
That's so true, man, because I can't think of, I'm sure there's stuff you could name, right? But like if I thought back to my childhood, I couldn't tell you like I wish I had this, or I felt like I lacked that, or I felt like I couldn't think of anything. Like I never felt like this absence of something, I guess, is like I go look back at my child, I'm like, it was great. It was fun. It was awesome. Yeah, I had fun. Like, I had a great mom. I was like, I had good friends. I had like stepdads. I had like, and I'm like, listen, I had very fond memories of my childhood.
Absolutely.
I'm like, I never felt like I lacked anything like that, right? So you just go, but like to your point, you almost get consumed in the what was missing, quote unquote.
What are the things that were missing?
But they're always things.
It's always things.
It's always things, man. It's never feelings or experiences or whatever. It's like things. It's so true, man.
Yeah, bro.
It's so true.
So shout out to all the fathers out there. Hey, listen, if you're out there and you're trying, fucking A, man. Kudos to you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Happy Father's Day.
Listen, happy Father's Day, man. And there's no guide to this thing, man. Just like whatever you're doing it's no right or wrong.
Yeah.
just be there.
Yeah, that's it. Just be there.
Just be there.
Yo, crazy. Man. You ever seen the movie Wedding Crashers?
I love that fucking movie.
That's one of my favorites of all time.
Oh, I think it's the most underrated comedy probably ever. It's so good. I watched it the other night.
Who's that? So it's Owen Wilson and what's the other guy's name?
Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn is like my long lost best friend. Him and Bradley Cooper, like those two guys.
I feel like that about Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper.
Man, that's my dog. You don't know it yet.
Yeah,
though.
That's right. Those are my, like, besides you, man, those are my two best friends. So there was an article that I read recently, man. So in Wedding Crashers, towards the end, Owen Wilson hooks up with the OG of Wedding Crashers, and it's played by what the fuck?
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell. And what he's doing at that time is that he's crashing funerals. So, of all companies, Trojan, Trojan releases a study and says the study reveals that 12% of men admit to bringing condoms to funerals just in case.
Yeah, listen, you got to wrap up all the stiffs at this.
So it's like the study was done on, it's like 35 and under.
Okay.
So, dude, 1 in 8 men are bringing condoms to a funeral. And one of like the like part of the study was
like on purpose. You're saying
on purpose,
not like I
just
keep
in
one
case.
in my wallet kind of thing. It's like no, I'm deliberately bringing a condom.
Like
to
I'm
a
going
funeral.
to the funeral and I'm definitely bringing a condom.
Yeah,
just in case. What they said was one of the studies was like that that there's like this overwhelming grief at a funeral, and it's because of this loss of closeness.
Right.
And so the loss of closeness kicks in our libido.
I could definitely see that, man.
To fill in the void.
Like, as you're talking about it, I'm like, what an asshole move, but also I kind of get it. Like, emotions are high, right. People are searching for that, like you said, the closeness, the thing. Like, it definitely makes sense.
Now, when I heard it in the movie, when I first saw the movie, I was like, man, that's fucked up.
Yo, it was fucking hilarious.
But it's hilarious, right? But I thought I was like, oh wow, that's really fucked up.
Yo, but Owen Wilson scene, he's like, he's on something, by the way. He's cleaning up over there. When he's trying to explain it.
At the wedding?
And the girl's like, she's waiting for their like romantic moment. And he's like, he's cleaning up. Oh, what a good. This is the most underrated comedy of all time. Sorry, go ahead.
No, man, that was it on that.
So wait, so Trojan did like a survey? Mm-hmm. It was like a survey that did it?
I guess,
is it like
man. They said it was a study released by Trojan.
Dude, what a great commercial would that be with just people at a funeral? Oh my God, bro.
So did you bring your condom?
Yo, you should have Trojan like sponsored coffins and then just bro. Oh my God. I'm trying to think of if I haven't gone to many funerals in my life and I almost avoid them at all costs. I've been to a couple.
Oh, do you? So you're not good at funerals?
I hate funerals.
Really?
I dislike. I mean, for the obvious reasons, but also I hate that my last memory of someone is that way.
So is it more like the ones that you have to have the viewing? Like, what if there was no viewing? Are you good with that?
Yeah, if it was like closed casket, just a block thing, maybe. But I think what would still stick with me is like the emotions of people being around, crying, doing like the funerals that I've done have been because I absolutely I couldn't like pass on them. Right, like my grandmother. Yep. You know, I've had family members like that. You know, you want to be there for them, and so you go. But like literally like less than 5, I've been to funerals in my life. And I've had chances to go to other ones and I avoid them at all costs. Like I literally only go to the ones where I'm like I have in my head like a box of like I'll go to these. Like that's how like extreme I am with funerals. Okay. I hate the idea that my last memory of you is gonna be in that context, whether I see the body or not, whether I think about it. Like I especially if it's someone that I really care about, like I would hate that to be the last sort of like memory I have of you. I don't know what it's just the whole thing about it freaks me out. It doesn't bring me closure at all. It doesn't like. I'd almost be better off oblivious, going like, okay, there was a funeral, they buried you, whatever, and me knowing like I just don't see you anymore. You know what I mean? Like if that makes sense, like. Yeah, I don't know. I probably need therapy, but like,
dude, that's a really like if you ever sort of like sit back and like really think about the people that you love, and then think about like not seeing them again, dude. I've done that shit. It is not like it's not a good place.
It sucks.
It does. However, it makes you really grateful that they're here.
No, I could definitely see that.
You know, like, so if you guys and out there, like if you ever feel like my life sucks and whatever, man, like think about that shit. Think about somebody that's really close to you, like dying. I don't mean like just think about it. I mean sit there with your feelings and like almost like play it out in your head and see the people that would be there and who would be crying and you know what I mean, like and then really sitting there with that thought of holy shit, like I'm never gonna see that person again. I'm never gonna hang out with that person again. Sit there with that thought for, for several minutes and feel that shit, it really makes you go, fuck, man, like I'm really grateful for that person, and I do not want that shit to happen, and life is not that fucking bad.
No, I think to your point, the perspective definitely changes a lot differently. I think as I've definitely matured a little bit more, but I think growing up, just like that whole thought, like we've talked about it here, I've always had this like overwhelming fear almost of death. So like seeing people that you care about that way was like almost breaking to me. Like it was like, I don't know if like not emotionally capable of handling it, but it was just one of those, like I just didn't want that to be how I saw these people that I really cared about, right? Like it would just be like, no man, like you and I, like I'm like, I would want to remember this. Like I'd be like, if my last memory of you was like at your funeral, it'd be like, fuck, I couldn't get that out of my head. And I have to like reconcile to myself of working past that because, like again, it's like part of life, but it's almost like I want to think of this. And then I go, my fear is always, am I always only going to think of that moment? And is that going to, the emotions of that, is it going to overshadow this? Like, is that, right. And that's like always my thing. It's just like, I don't, and so it's been like people in my life where I've gone like, okay, I have to do these and I've done them. And it's funny, man, oddly enough, they weren't bad.
No, they're not.
They were bad, obviously horrible. They're emotional, they're stuff. But like, like they weren't as bad as I think I thought they were going to be in terms of like the people around me were as bad as I expected them to be. But like me, I was like, oh, okay, oddly enough, I'm handling this better than I thought. Like I've had those moments. But yeah, dude. And it's funny that you like bring up this story because like you saw this guy this week that faked his death.
No.
Oh my God, bro! This dude
like really faked the death.
No, he faked the death, and his wife and everything was in on it. So his wife and I think his kids,
is it for
his
money?
Family. No, dude. So he's a TikToker. His name is David Burton.
Okay. And
he orchestrated this whole stunt where he faked his death. They planned the funeral, and his whole family comes in for the funeral. And he pulls in a helicopter. So like the super dramatic entrance, does this whole thing, land.
Fuck out of here,
all to teach his lesson to his family and his friends about staying in touch.
Wow.
So he pulls the whole
That's kind of cool, bro. Like, I mean, somebody's pissed.
Oh, livid, bro. Because my first thought was what you said. I went, that's kind of cool. But
yeah, somebody's really
if pissed. Your goal is to make sure that you still keep in touch, does this work? I think it works short term.
I don't know, man. Like I think that, when people die, and obviously it depends on who it is. I think that you, especially if it's somebody that was close to you, you always have that. Fuck, you know what? Like there was so many times when I thought about you, and I should have called. And I wanted to call, but didn't really have much to say. You know what I mean? And sometimes it is literally just the 5 or 10 minutes, and I will just go 5 minutes. I got family members that like hound me about calling them, and literally when I call them, they just want to be on the phone for like 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah, it's like, oh, what's going on? Blah, 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 right? And it's like, all right, cool, good to hear from you, and then that's it. And I think that sometimes I won't call because I'll go, I don't really have much to say. There's nothing really there's nothing that has happened since last time I saw you, and so I'm going to skip the call. And I know for a fact that those people would have just preferred the 2-minute call. 2 minutes.
I need to work on that, bro, because I'm
so bad about that.
I'm bad, but you know what the other thing about it is? There's very few things in life I hate more than being on the phone.
And I can attest to that because your ass, I could text you, you will answer real quick, and then I'll call you like 2 minutes later, and then the fucking thing just rings.
Dude, I hate, like, I will text you all day.
Yeah.
I hate talking on the phone.
Why?
This is going to sound silly because, again, I'll text you. There's something so unproductive that I feel like being on the phone, like, it's going to sound fucked up, but it almost feels like I'm wasting my time. So it's like, it's different if like we haven't spoken in a while, right? And I'm like, okay, I want to catch up. But like, you talk to people all the time and you're just like, and they want to talk on the phone and you're just like, bro, I could have been doing all this other shit. And I know there's things
That's
where you
different.
can like,
but typically like I won't call you. Like I'll call you because it's too much to type.
No, I know. Like when you call me, yeah, I don't never not answer because I'm like, fuck that, text me. I literally just miss it because I'm so bad about looking for rings. There's a different tone for all of them. But like for me, like I'm really bad about calling family because like I don't like talking on the phone. Like I'll text you all day. Like I'll text family, and maybe I should just do better about that. Like, hey, how are you? My fear is that when I text you, you're gonna call me. But so if you're my family,
is
you're
somebody
listening
that's like
to
older than you.
Yeah, they're gonna call
that
me.
goes like fuck this text.
Yeah, I have my uncle in Jersey. I love him to death, man.
Yeah.
And I love even talking to him on the phone sometimes. Like he's because again, I don't see him all the time.
Right.
And it's hours on the phone. And so like sometimes, and now he's finally getting around to the texting thing. Like he's coming into the current century. But for the longest time, you couldn't text him because then he would call you. And I'm like, motherfucker, like if I wanted to talk to you on the phone.
Yeah, but you know what? He's thinking, oh, I'm not typing all the shit that I got to say.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick up the phone.
And I would much rather type. Or speak it into it and it'll type it for me. I don't want to talk to you. Like I got shit.
Dude, that's the generational gaps, bro.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so, bro.
I think a lot of it has to do with my impatience or my constant. I don't know if I'm alone in this. There's definitely a problem in this. There is this thing that I have where if I'm doing something, I always have to feel like I'm doing something else to feel productive. If that makes sense. So like if I walk from living room to kitchen, if I walk empty-handed, like there's got to be something that's got to make its way back to the kitchen. It bothers me. Like whether it's a piece of trash or a dish or whatever, it's like I'm always constantly looking for the most efficient way to like almost do life. So it's like if I'm on the phone with you, it's like taking away from other things that I could be doing because I'm really shitty at being on the phone and multitasking.
Okay.
It's like sometimes I could just leave the phone on speaker and then do something, but then you get caught in the and that shit drives me crazy. So it's like,
you ever walk around with like, I don't know, like a Bluetooth headset?
I feel like a douchebag doing that.
Okay, plug headphones into your fucking phone and then put the earbuds in. I don't give a shit how it is, bro.
I have done that. No, I have done that. Like I have done that and like wash my car or something like that. And then you're like, okay, that's cool. Like I'm doing like two things. Like that I could do, but like
I wasn't talking about the fucking big Bluetooth.
You remember
thing
those?
with
You watch? Oh gosh.
With the blue light flashing out of fucking.
Almost guaranteed we couldn't be friends. If I saw you in public and you was wearing a Bluetooth headset, we're not gonna be friends.
Yeah, how we doing on time?
But dude, we're an hour 6 into this.
Oh shit! All right, we gotta close this.
Do it. Going back really quickly to the story. So fakes his funeral, wants to prove a point, has a whole film crew there, does the whole joint.
Yeah.
Is he an asshole? Like, bro, if I did that to you, so think about this. If I fake my devs, all this shit, right? And Saturday you went to my funeral and I pulled up and I would expect you to beat me up, bro.
But I wouldn't. But we do the podcast next week.
You think so?
Yeah. Fuck
all right, fuck it, let's go. You're right, but guys, we're not grudge holders.
Yeah, no.
Guys
Like I'll let you have it, and then that's it. And then
you'll read
it's
me.
over.
Yeah, but motherfucker, I'll see you Tuesday.
Yeah, and then I would have been like, bitch, you could have at least told me. Be like,
you so right.
I'm not the one that's fucking not calling you and shit, bro.
Like you see me every week. You so right.
What kind of lesson you trying to teach me?
I can't tell you because then you be the only one at the funeral smiling. I can't trust you with that information. You be in that bitch like,
just wait.
Waiting.
They be like, why you not sad?
You like, guys, is that a chopper? I hear a chopper.
Dude, but you know, how fucked up would that be, right? Like, you like, so if I'm the only one that knows, I walk in there, like your mom, your wife, your kids, like everybody's fucking crying or really somber, right? Like your uncles that I've met, like all the family that I've met of yours, and they walk in there and it's fucking just like somber and whatever,
and you know,
and I know, I'm not telling anybody, and I'm telling you, don't fucking tell them that I know. Now, and then when they're all fucking yelling at you, you be like, Sean knew.
I'm like, yo, you know what's more fucked up? Sean knew.
I be ducking out the back.
You'd be like, what up, what up? Welcome to the Carbon Footprint Podcast.
We just did the whole podcast with all you somber fuckers.
All you somber. That story is fucking crazy, bro. I'm like, yo, all that to prove a point. I'm like, man, that could go either way. Because I also feel like if I didn't call you already, that's not going to make me call you.
Yeah, no.
Like you're not gonna like your point taken, but it's not gonna improve it.
Yeah, that's probably true, man.
Do you know what I mean? Like I go, if I didn't call you, it's probably because I don't like you.
It probably wouldn't improve it long term.
No, it'll be short.
I think we all fall back into complacency.
It's a comfort. Yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah, no, I agree. But it was just, I saw that shit. I'm like, holy fuck, man. Like
so did he do this shit for like on his social media, like on his TikTok?
Bro, he did a whole video, like literally had a film crew do the whole thing, bro. So it's like a high production value. Motherfucker Scorsese the shit out of this film.
Who is this guy? I like him already.
Yeah. His name is David Barton, Baerten, and he's from, I think, Belgium. Yeah, Belgium. So he pulled this off in Belgium. And I think the most asshole part of this whole thing, though, like I can understand trying to prove a point, but you drop in on a helicopter, it's kind of fucking wild. Like you ain't got to rub it in like that. You could have just lay in the coffin and pop up or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit.
Right. And you got to even flex. Not only are you not dead, you got to flex that you have money.
Yeah, you got like the most grandiose entrance ever. You got to. It wasn't enough to just pop into the room. Oh shit, bro, that's
dope, man.
Man.
What you want to end on, bro? What you got? Anything good?
Let's see what we got that we can end on, man.
You want to talk about this White House shit?
Yo, I guess we should, bro.
All right, so for those of you that have not seen, the White House had like a whole. So this is, we're in June. We got Juneteenth coming up. We got Father's Day coming up, but June is Pride Month. Another way that they fucked all the fathers and. We can't even get our own month. Y'all don't give a fuck about us. I just want to make it clear.
You're so right, bro.
Another piece of evidence that y'all don't give a fuck about us.
God.
And what did you tell me? Did somebody go like, you gotta thank what the fuck was it? You gotta thank a did I hear that from you or somebody else? It was like, you gotta thank a straight person for like giving birth to you.
Giving birth. Shout out to you heteros. Boring ass.
So at the White House, Joe Biden did this whole thing, and I'm going to give it to Joe Biden because he's the president, obviously.
Oh my God! Yeah.
He did like a whole pride thing at the White House, and invited a lot of folks from the LGBTQ plus community, right? And one of the people that went over there was Rose Montoya, and she is a trans influencer.
Okay.
And so after she met the president, she posed for like a video with these two other guys. The guys were topless. The guys took their shirts off.
Okay.
So she takes her shirt off as well, cups her breasts, and sort of in the video. So the White House bans her, like for life.
For having her titties out.
For having her titties out, right? They called it inappropriate and disrespectful. She came out and was like, I did not violate any Washington, D.C. laws.
I mean, yeah, bitch, if you want to get into the technicalities of it, but I also think, this is a prime example here of if you're trying to push your movement forward.
That's not a good way to do it.
It's not a good way to do it, bro. And then you're just you're just sort of giving, you're adding fuel to the people's fire who believe a certain way, right? Like, unfortunately, you have to be like tip top, morally, ethically, if you're trying to push a cause forward, you can't give people a reason to not want to like sort of support you. And that's it. Because as a straight woman, we would have been pissed about this. Like a straight woman, White House lawn, pulls her titties out, we'd have been like, that's kind of classless.
Correct.
And so if you're there and they're celebrating you and you're trying to move your cause forward and you're trying to show, hey, we deserve these rights, whatever, and you do, but you have a certain subset of the community that doesn't feel that way, and they're using the quote unquote pervertedness or whatever as their sort of like, I guess the reason why they sort of shun you down, and then you do this, you're sort of proving those people right. in their own mind.
In their own mind.
And so it's just one of those things where it's like, you're not there yet, bro.
Yeah.
It's so fucking unnecessary.
Right. No, you're right. And it even goes back to, when Obama got elected. Obama, I always said this, man. He was the perfect, he's the perfect black guy to have that position because he was flawless in his poise, in his sort of commander in chief role.
Yeah.
Whether you agree with his policies or not,
right? That was irrelevant. Yep. He was presidential to the T,
bro.
Irrespective of policy or whatever.
Correct.
He was.
So if you ever thought, I don't know, like if you ever were sort of like, no, whatever, black guys shouldn't be, no, black people shouldn't be president. If you were racist in that manner, like that was the guy that could change your mind.
Right, because he didn't give you a reason. Like
he didn't give you a reason.
I always wondered too, like that must have been really tough because in his mind it was like I'm the first and I have to make sure I'm not the last. And so you almost water yourself down. And he talks about that in his book. Like you almost sort of, you don't want to be you because you have to make sure that you keep this.
Not 100% you.
Because correct. You're very aware of the perspective, or the perception, sorry. So like, yeah, man. And I felt like that's what was like, listen, man, I'm all about free to nipple, free titties, other stuff. There's a time and place. And then also like you go, everything isn't created equal. If it's like, oh, if the guys did it, the guys, yeah, good for them. You're not them. You're trying to move a cause forward. And so you have to be aware of time and place and circumstance and situation and intent and all that stuff. And if is the movement more important to you and the future more important to you, or is making the headlines today more important to you?
Right.
Like, and and I don't know if this was intentional, the headline, like, again, I also I feel like two things can be the same. Like you could have got caught up in the moment and did this because it was fun and yada yada, and then you didn't really think that through.
But I also think that when you have those kind of followers, when you're an influencer, you have this kind of followers, then you have to kind of check yourself, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
Right?
I think especially being aware of the moment where you have to move that situation forward and all that stuff. And Biden wouldn't know what to do with him anyway, bro. I seen him taking the pictures next to him and stuff. That motherfucker was so out of it.
He has sunglasses on, right? I think they do that shit.
I think they do that now just because he falls asleep mid everything. Holy shit, bro. That guy's a corpse, man. We won't have time to get into this, but like even like I've seen a lot of hype for Bobby Kennedy, who I like when I hear him talk, I'm like, he makes sense. He's rational. He doesn't seem like committed. He doesn't seem like stubborn in his beliefs and stuff thing. But you know how we always talk about like you have to be presidential. You have to have that thing. Like you can't be short. You can't be ugly. You can't be whatever. Bobby Kennedy talks like someone trimmed his vocal cords.
Oh, I haven't heard him talk.
I need you to be able to yell, bro. You can't be president if you can't scream. Sorry. He's like,
oh, really?
He has one of these, like, I don't know what's fucking wrong with him, but he talks like that. You're not going to be president talking like that, bro. I'm sorry. I don't care what your politics or what your policies are. Like, listen, we'll take the corpse.
I'm going to end on this. I hereby propose we move Pride Month to August.
Why August?
Because ain't shit going on in August. And Father's Day, get June back. God damn it.
Yeah, 4th of July belongs to America. July belongs to America. June belongs to the dads. Ain't shit in August. You right.
Ain't shit in August.
I second your motion.
And it's hot as fuck down here in Florida. Y'all can come and take it all off.
I always thought April was a good time for Pride Month. It's like colorful, like, the whole... Yeah, still. They get another month, bro. They get December too. Like, the fuck? You want 2 now?
You just being greedy.
Bro. We gave you December.
You die. You born in one month, you die the other month. Yeah. I mean, you can't have both.
You can't have both.
We don't have. We got birthdays, not death.
Both of the dates wrong too? They are wrong, right? Like the actual birth is in like the summer sometime, and then the actual death.
I don't even know when.
Yeah, it's not accurate at all. But anyway,
I think Christmas is actually it's the winter solstice.
Correct.
Right,
but he was born in like the middle of.
I don't believe he was born. Yeah. He was born at that time. So on that, tell them where they can find us.
Listen, at the Carbon Football Podcast on IG, the Carbon Football Podcast on Facebook, YouTube, at Carbon FP Pod on TikTok and Twitter, and then all your favorite audio platforms. We are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, JioSaavn, Amazon Music, Audible, Pocket Cast, Podchaser, all of it, man. So if we're not on something, let us know. But go ahead and hit like, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a review. Keep dropping us text messages, doing all that, man. Even on the side, you guys have no idea what that does in terms of like inspiration, and motivation, and all that other. And it's cool to see that someone, even if it's one person on the other side of this, is actually taking it in. So
absolutely. And I got one quote. I read this thing. It was probably about a week or two ago. Charlemagne the God posted it. I think he just clipped it out of somewhere and put it on his page. But it says, "Stop ignoring your talent has been Stop ignoring when your talent has been validated in multiple spaces. It's not a gimmick. It's not luck. It's not a once in a lifetime occurrence. You are good at this thing. The proof is there. Accept it and act accordingly."
That goes with what we were saying before.
Yeah, put that in your pipe and smoke it.
For real.
And yo, we appreciate you guys, and we will see you next week.
See you next week.
Peace.
Peace.